Hello, everyone. This is Holly, and I am going to be narrating my family tree. As you can see, in comparison to the other family trees that have been shared with the class, my family tree is a tad bit skimpy. So I am going to start with myself and work my way backwards. I was born in 1974 at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Currently, I am at the University of Georgia studying educational psychology, pursuing my specialist degree. I'm an educator and I have been for 18 years. I have 5 sisters, and 3 of those sisters are educators also. I am blessed to have one son who is multiracial. Now I'm going to talk about my mom, who is Margaret Phillips. She was born in 1942 and she passed away in 2006 from a very rare disease called scleroderma. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia. She graduated from high school. She had 2 years of vocational school. What I want to note here is that when she graduated from high school, she and my father were married. Okay? Now, she went to vocational school for management. However, she primarily was a housewife. She raised 6 daughters. My mother was extremely engaged in school. She would help the school with the plays, with band, any type of after-school activities. Sometimes she would come up to the school and volunteer throughout the day. She was just very, very active in my schooling and all my sisters' schooling. And I know she is one of the reasons why I'm a school teacher today. She was highly gifted in arts and crafts and an extremely eloquent writer. My father, Bobby Phillips, he was born in Greenwood, South Carolina in 1942. And unfortunately, he recently passed away in 2017. So discussing his life and researching his background, it just brought back a lot of memories. But regardless, he had a 10th grade education, and he had to actually leave school early because he needed to help his mother out with raising his brothers. I am happy and proud to say that he was a highly successful entrepreneur. He had his own towel company called Ceramic Towel Enterprise. He also owned a restaurant named Around the Corner in the West End. He was a highly gifted and self-taught artisan, and he's biracial. His mother was black and his father white. Now I'm going to move back to my mother's mom, Arlene Edge, and she was born in 1925 in Atlanta, Georgia, and she passed away in 1967. She was very young when she passed away, only 42, and she her death was unexpected. Something kind of interesting about her, though, is that I actually look exactly like her, and my mom always loved that fact. But she had an 8th grade education. She was a hairstylist. She did domestic work, and she had 4 children. She married Ziegler Edge II, whom also was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He completed some of grade school, not all. He worked in various industries, and he was the father of 6 children. When Arlene passed away, he did remarry Henrietta, and they moved to New York, where he had 2 additional sons. Now, my father's side, you'll note, I have information on his mother, but very little on his father. So, Thelma Phillips, she's deceased. She was born in Greenwood, South Carolina. She had a 6th grade, we think, education, not 100% sure. We do know that she was a domestic worker, and she was forced to flee to Georgia in 1950. She was forced to flee because of the relationship that she had with my father's father, which was unapproved of in Greenwood, South Carolina, because he was Caucasian and she was African American. And I won't go into more details than that. So let's go back and look at Lucretia Swain. She was triracial. She was Cherokee, Indian, and Caucasian. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1901, and she passed away in 1988. She was a domestic worker, and she was a extremely neat person. I mean, they were in her house, nothing was out of place. She was extremely neat. She completed grade school and was very intelligent. She married Edward Swain, and he was from Atlanta, Georgia, and he was actually her second husband. He was a janitor at Georgia Tech and retired from that job. He did have some grade school. I'm not sure exactly how much, but he did have some. On my mother's father's side, we have Rosa Lee Ziegler. She was an extremely giving woman. She was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1910 and passed away, unfortunately, in 1966. She was quite young herself also. She was a housewife, and she raised 8 children. And she was just, like I mentioned earlier, she was a very giving spirit, and she gave a lot to the community and to children in her neighborhood. Ziegler Ed Sr., he was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and in 1899, and then he passed away in 1960. He was a carpenter and a minister. So this is my family tree. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.